Hey guys, so this is here bringing you another video, and welcome to another Challenger Spectates. Again, you did last episode, and we're doing this episode just as a little break from the Climb to Master stuff. I'll get back into it and recording tomorrow. But yeah, sometimes it's just nice to chill, watch better players, and see if I can do anything different. Because, you know, last episode that we watched, I learnt that I'm going to try and do side lane pressure more, get my farm numbers up. And then this game, what we're going to be focusing on is Kassadin, you could argue, is a late game champion. Very much so. Mid to late game. And this game, he snowballs. So I want to find out how do you do that on a late game champion, because I play late game champions. I'm never in a position that I'm like, I can snowball this game, because I never feel strong to do so. So watching a late game Kassadin, how does he do well in the early game? I will say, obviously, some people mentioned the clan tag. This is a different person, same clan tag. Again, the whole L9 thing has basically become a meme joke in EUS nowadays, so it's probably not like serious L9 or anything like that, but yeah. Alright, so it's a Kassadin Yasuo matchup, I presume. I have no idea what's going on in this situation right now. So you've got roaming coming here, you've got the mid laner. Oh wait, you've got an Ezreal support with a Caitlyn, and just to remind everybody, this is like high EUS challenger. Like the person we're focusing in on right now is like rank 8 or something like that. So on the enemy team, you've got Brand, you've got Ezreal support, and obviously what they're going to be trying to do is, you know, these two champions belong. He's a proper jungler. They're going to try a bully, because why wouldn't they? So they are, like, Blitzcrank is making his way, trying to mess with the Brand. Maybe in a little bit of trouble. Ezreal igniting. Blitzcrank going to flash away. Fails his flash in high challenger. And he does go down. So that is, again, this is crazy. And it's also why I like doing these episodes, man. Because so many people get surprised going, God, mistakes still happen. Yes, they still happen. So when you watch my commentaries and, you know, you get the occasional comment, how are you diamond? These people are challenger, and this type of thing happens. And that kind of just, it brings out the human in the player to me. And I think that's really important, because people, like, for some reason, give, especially higher rating people, a really hard time for just making human mistakes. It's annoying. Like I say, the other day, I played a normal game with my friends. I was just chilling. I was getting flamed, being like, how are you diamond? I wasn't paying attention. I was playing a normal game with friends. Anyway, let's continue. So the Brand of all people is invading. Like, that is so ballsy that now he just threw that away. So yeah, Brand invading. I guess he invaded because he knew Graves invaded his red. But now he's dead. Riven gets killed by a Shen in the early game, and obviously nothing really has happened in mid. So again, missing the cannon. Huzzy cannon still happens in Challenger. Bad trade by him. So right now, this game is kind of hilarious to watch. I'm glad I picked this one, because you wouldn't think, if you watch this game, I'm sure most of you would be like, this doesn't seem like a high Challenger game. And that's another thing that, like, videos do, is that when Challenger people against Challenger people, it can look messy, because they're all the same level. What you've got to always think, and again, I hope people, and again, most of you would be like, that makes sense. If you threw, and again, if you are of the opinion like, oh, this looks like a silver game or a gold game, the difference being, if you threw that type of person in this game, it's like, oh, this looks like a silver game, but you threw a silver player in this game, they'd get obliterated. It's the fact that you've got people of the same skill level kind of making it look dumb. That's what it is. Alright, so he is getting pressured in. You can see the farm advantage for Yasuo is huge, and that's what I was kind of expecting. Again, part of me picking this episode, as I mentioned, was Kassadin is not known for his early game. What happens, and how does he get strong? Right now, he is getting beat quite badly. So item-wise, he picks himself up a Dark Seal, and he picks himself up a Fairy Charm. Meanwhile, Blitzcrank gets a solo kill on the Ezreal, guessing something to do with a tower. And obviously, Kassadin right now is nearly getting tripled in farm. That's crazy. So he's probably just going to want to sit tight a little bit, just farm as much as he can. Build-wise, I don't know if the Fairy Charm is going to specifically go into something. One thing I have noticed is in watching Challenger players, watching better players, the amount of them that buy like a Fairy Charm for heavy, intense mana champions is quite a lot. They just buy a Fairy Charm for the lane phase. They don't build it into anything. They just buy it. And they leave it and they sell it later on. I'm going to start doing that, and I actually already have on Jace. It's the champion that I've started to do that on. So bot lane, Draven gets a kill, but then Brand comes in and gets the counter kill. If you notice again, the farm. So Kassadin is still down a fair amount. Riven is getting doubled in farm by the Shen. Draven is getting doubled in farm by the Caitlyn. Right now, the blue team is getting owned. like just categorically owned. And obviously they've got, the enemy team have got a Brand jungle, they've got an Ezreal support. You wouldn't think that they'd be getting owned, because the higher rating you go, usually the better comp with also the better players will win, and you know, win everywhere, win the early game, win the team fights. So it'll be interesting to see how this game moves forward. So obviously Kassadin as a champion, his strength is level 6, so he's probably just biding his time, waiting for level 6, doesn't want to risk anything. He obviously doesn't want to die in the 1v1 to a Yasuo. Yasuo obviously also has the Ignite advantage. Kassadin took Teleport, as he obviously would. And as for the runes, by the way, this Kassadin is running Electrocute, for those that are interested. So it is going for more the burst Kassadin, not the Fleet Footwork Sustain. So yeah, that is also good to know. Right, so Yasuo level 6 advantage. But again, Kassadin is just keeping this under the tower. Boom, Yasuo goes for a bit of tower damage, actually. Kassadin hits level 6 himself, and you can just see he's trying to maintain as much farm as possible. Which also, you know, isn't easy. You know, he's in a matchup that is getting punished. Yasuo takes a lot of tower damage there. Kassadin might go for a flash play here. Here we go. Nope, not going to go for it. Backs out in the end. So yeah, Yasuo making some openings, definitely, by taking a bit too much tower damage. You know, just being a bit too ballsy, as it were. Alright, so moving forward, Graves gets a gank in bot lane. Yasuo uses a wind wall. That could be an opening, but I doubt he'll go for the kill. Brand is in the top lane. As you can see on the minimap. And yeah, Kassadin just being patient. He's half farm, by the way. So 63 to the Yasuo, over half farm, or now half farm, roughly, for the Kassadin. But once again, just chilling, getting that farm, not really paying much attention to the 1v1, other than trying to survive as much as he can. Occasional poke, which again, the Yasuo isn't being too careful about. Blitzcrank is coming for an engage. Yasuo's got both summoners. They do manage to get straight away the kill, but Blitzcrank blowing both Ignite and Flash. Yasuo not reacting quickly enough with his own summoners. And Draven also gets killed with Blitzcrank roaming. So yeah, the friendly Draven, blue side Draven, gets killed by an Ezreal support, and Riven goes down in top lane to a gank. So this game is all over the place. And it's crazy, but, you know, if we focus in on the Kassadin that we're kind of, like, paying attention to, you'll notice he's not died. You know, he's kind of doing okay. He's a mid-late game champion, but this is, on the other hand, Yasuo is also a mid-late game champion, and that's why a lot of people get, like, annoyed by Yasuo. He has that mid-late game crazy item build with his crit and everything, but he also can lane bully quite hard, so it's like, Yasuo kind of has both of those things. Kassadin usually doesn't lane bully. He used to, but not really anymore, especially against AD champions. That's kind of his weakness, because obviously he has a magic shield with his Q that obviously AD champions don't care about. Right, so Yasuo continuing, and return damage with the Electrocute. Kassadin potentially going for an all-in. Blitzcrank back in the mid lane. Flash coming from the Yasuo. Flash ultimate from the Kassadin, and the Yasuo does go down. I don't think Yasuo would have died there if Blitzcrank didn't come, because obviously the pressure of Blitzcrank coming made the Yasuo flash away, but the Kassadin won that trade completely. It's also the you know, the Electrocute power that we're seeing, so slowly you're starting to see this Yasuo, like, turn this around. And again, the big thing in my head that is making this work is he's been patient. He hasn't risked anything in the early game. He has been patient, and he knows, I'll just wait later. Furthermore, if you look at the bottom left above the sponsor reel, his skill order, he is maxing E, just to make people clear. He's maxing E, then ultimate, then E, then Q, then W. I'm sorry. That usually comes in. One, it does a lot of damage. It also is really good for bursting and for wave clear. Like, it kind of gives you all of those things in one. Brand, as you can see over on the minimap on the left, is getting engaged on. Shen ultimate is coming down. Graves gets killed by the Brand, and Blitzcrank looks to be running away. Just again, focusing on the Kassadin, he's just going to be farming a little bit. Ezreal gets himself another kill, and you can see the Ezreal build is, like, kind of weird. It's kind of damage support Ezreal. And here's the thing that people say, you know, Huz, what do I think of Ezreal support? I'd put it on the same level as Lux. Both shouldn't be a support, but you can technically do it. They both don't have support scaling, so why not? Ezreal's a poke champion. He's going to have Klepto for gold income, so he actually isn't going to be poor the whole game. So yeah, in my opinion, why not? I don't recommend doing it in a weird way, but to me, it's the exact same level as Lux. If you're someone that likes Lux support, I don't think you can diss Ezreal support. Anyway, Riven going for a teleport play in bot lane, by the way. Kassadin looking to roam, does give up for now, but maybe coming down the river. Enemy team running straight to the Kassadin. He does find the Brand. The Brand knows he's dead at this point, and the Kassadin is going to get the aid assist. Riven getting a triple kill there does bring her back into the game, but again, the farm, she is still very much down in farm. The Shen's 202, the Riven's 3-2, but the Shen's got a 30 farm advantage. So that's crazy. Yasuo now out of position to the Graves. Graves doing as much damage. Kassadin gonna go and maybe look to do it, but he can't because of the lack of mana. Yasuo might be killing himself by overstaying in that fight, and he does decide to back away. And yes, Kassadin does not have mana. Remember that obviously Kassadin ultimate, if you don't know how it works, I think his base ultimate is like 100 mana, and every single use, the mana usage of it goes up, but also the damage does go up, reflecting that as well. But it gets very expensive. Like, you can literally have like a 600 mana cost ultimate as Kassadin when you've used it a few times. But it's very powerful. Very quickly teleport back into lane, doesn't even get full mana. So again, a lot of people will say to me, Huz, you don't get full mana. Yasuo taking a bad trade here, potentially could die. If Kassadin ults out the way, that is going to be a dead Yasuo. So that early that early teleport straight from coming back to you know, on the base tower into the teleport has made that worth of not getting the mana. But again, you know, I don't wait for mana a lot of the time. People for years have always said, why don't you wait for full mana? Because a lot of the time there is an opportunity that presents itself that means you can't wait for it. You know, like literally those 2 seconds for a little bit more mana is that Yasuo escaping, is that Yasuo not dying. And that's where that comes in. It's like they don't want to wait. Kassadin coming in over. The Shen is trying to be a pain around the Rift Herald. He is also not going to get it. Graves does pick it up with his smite. Riven really close to being dead. And Blitzcrank does come and help and save the day. Obviously, the Draven in this game has been left alone. Draven going very, very aggressive on the Ezreal. Will he get the auto attack that he needs? Dodges the Q. Ezreal, when he has E up, Draven will probably die. W, and then E, and the Draven's dead. So yeah, the Blitzcrank has roamed a lot this game. Meanwhile, Yasuo's dead again with the 3-man gank. And the Rift Herald. But the Blitzcrank's roamed and actually made quite a lot of plays happen. You can see at the top of the gold, the blue team has now taken advantage in gold because they are starting to focus objectives a little bit more, be a bit smart about their plays, and people like the Riven have made a pretty good comeback. But again, the person that hasn't made a comeback per se, the Kassadin. Look at the farm now, and look at the KDAs. This Yasuo is 0-4-0 when he was triple the farm of Kassadin in the early game. And this is where you've got to play smart in League of Legends, not necessarily. Meanwhile, gets one shot. Shen ultimate didn't save him. That is probably going to kill him. No, it doesn't. They get the block there, which is really nice. Caitlyn coming too close to the sun. She does get Blitzcrank hooked, and she probably will go down. One auto attack after a flash by the Graves. Enemy team is trying to chase them down, obviously desperately, like, oh my god, this game is going bad now. But yeah, patience, man. Don't underestimate patience in League of Legends, especially when you're playing something mid to late game. So how has this guy, like we kind of wanted to focus on, meanwhile Shen's going a little bit crazy. This guy's playing a mid to late game champion. How is he doing so well? Because he's not risking things. That's the thing. He hasn't risked anything this game. Every single 1v1 that he's done has been calculated. A lot of the early game was like when he was using the tower to help him. And then now it's when the Yasuo is opening himself up to a mistake. Overstaying, being at low health, using his E, using his wind wall. All of those things is openings for the Kassadin. So again, he doesn't get his full health and mana straight away. Riven going for an all-in. Kassadin goes for a flash ultimate. He's now going to go on the Ezreal. Does get the Yasuo before that. Ezreal has nowhere to run, and the Kassadin damage is enough to finish off the Ezreal. So the Kassadin is now starting to snowball. So this to me has opened my eyes a little bit to like be completely fine. Like, the weird thing is be completely fine with being down on farm, but he maintained a level of farm. Like, look, with all the farms in the game, he's in the mix. He's not down on farm. He's around 100. The Shen's around 100. The Yasuo's around 100. The Caitlyn's around 100. He is not down on farm, even though he lost the early game farm really badly. Now, what did we say in the Rise episode? What was a good way of maintaining your farm as a mid laner? Side lane farm. This is something that I don't do, and it's something that I'm going to be looking to do more. And instantly, you see him going down to bot lane, clearing a wave that's 6 more farm that I wouldn't have got. I would have just based in mid lane. I wouldn't have made my way down to bot. So again, these episodes to me are really useful for like kind of learning those type of things. Draven of all people going for a 1v1 on the Caitlyn. We may as well watch it because Kassadin's not doing anything. Caitlyn uses the heal. Draven misses his ultimate, and he gets completely outranged, and he does just die. This Draven not having a good game, and also some people may have noticed the purchase that Kassadin just did, and yes, that is a Medjai's. So he's just waiting, biding his time, goes for an ultimate play, goes to the E, which is the slow, dodges the E from the Caitlyn, and she is just going to go pop, and Blitzcrank steals the kill, which again, shouldn't do. Why shouldn't Blitzcrank do that? For the obvious reason of being a support versus a mid laner. Medjai stacks. So Blitzcrank shouldn't have taken that. He probably knows he shouldn't have, to be honest. But yeah, moving forward into the game, Kassadin is now snowballing. One thing I also want to point your attention to is the Fairy Charm that I spoke about earlier. And notice how that has not been built into anything. That has just been sitting there to help his lane phase. So again, in my upcoming episodes in Climb to Master and Iron to Diamond, you'll probably notice that. And maybe I'll say something about it, maybe I won't. But you guys will watch this video and be like, I know where Huz got that from. It's watching Challenger players because they're all doing it. Anyway, big fight happening in the mid lane. The enemy team do get the tower, but they take a bad fight. A 3-for-1 trade, even without the Kassadin at that point. And the Yasuo is 0-6. So, you know the meme of, you know, your Yasuo's terrible? Yeah, that still exists in Challenger. And it's also always why that I've said I do not recommend Yasuo for the average player in League. And really, I don't recommend him at all. He's such a volatile champion that you either get fed or feed. That's just what he is. And he's a Challenger Yasuo. He's 0-6. So yeah, Caitlyn overstaying, and yes, that is technically overstaying, having no vision in her own jungle. Does get killed once again to the Kassadin. So he's now 506, 500 gold bounty. He's ahead on farm to the Yasuo that he got beat by early game. Blitzcrank around the area, maybe looking for a hook on the brand. They're going for tier 2 advantage, which they're probably not going to get, and they do back out. Remember, tier 2 turrets do a lot of damage nowadays, so you can't ignore them. All right, heading back down to mid lane, potentially. Enemy team go for an Ezreal ultimate. Nothing comes of it, though. Maybe he's heading to blue buff, from my guess. Item build-wise, so yeah, Rod of Ages, Medjai's, and then I presume a Luden's, obviously, for the mana that he so desperately needs. And also, Luden's is good for burst. So when you're building Electrocute Kassadin, you can't ignore that Luden's gives you burst damage as well. Because, you know, the little Luden's, like, plop damage has got me kills. I'm sure like, people watching has got them kills as well. Also building on the enemy team, so obviously Static Shiv is kind of normal for a Yasuo first item for wave clear and stuff and for burst. Bit of an interesting thing that their Caitlyn is doing that first. I don't think that's the norm. You know, the Ezreal support, Gunblade and all that. So yeah, a bit of a weird game. Kassadin, all right, here we go. Big flank play by the Kassadin. Riven is not in the mix. She does have teleport herself, not looking for it yet. Enemy team is on the back foot, trying to run away. Let's see what Kassadin can do. Biding his time, waiting for the Ezreal, gets the first kill. Then going on the Caitlyn. The enemy team has nowhere to run right now. Shen does not have ultimate, so he can't just save people. Kassadin continuing the fight, gets himself a triple kill. Kassadin then gets himself a quadra kill. Is the pentakill gonna happen? Again, I did not know this was gonna happen in this episode, so if it happens, that's a bonus. But yeah, so the lesson of this game, definitely so far, has been know when to be aggressive and know when to be patient. This Kassadin didn't risk anything in the early game, gets himself that lovely pentakill. And, you know, in the first couple minutes, we were literally seeing the blue team absolutely, like, all of them were down on farm. Kassadin was getting tripled in farm. You'd think that this game would be over. It was like, what the hell is going on? Again, it's being smart about your play. It's not giving up for one. The Rise episode had the same kind of lesson there. It's not giving up about the early game. It's knowing what your win condition is. Kassadin is a late game monster and playing to that win condition. I'm Kassadin, I'm a monster. I can beat Yasuo later, especially if he makes mistakes. You know, the enemy team is quite squishy. I'm just going to wait, get farm, be patient, and then attack. And honestly, also, the Blitzcrank helped this game quite a bit. Obviously, the Draven didn't have a great game. He's dead again. Kassadin going for a kill on the Yasuo. He tries to flash away. He will get killed by the Riven, most likely. And there you go. Enemy team is dying in the mid right now. Kassadin and Riven out of position, potentially, if the enemy team wins that fight. Let's have a little pan over to see what's happening. Blitzcrank trying to survive. Graves trying to survive. Enemy team now very much potentially scared for their lives. Kassadin coming in. Does go for the kill with the Riven. Riven just gets a kill with her ultimate. And then the blue team can come up and clean the fight. So there you go, ace. So this has been interesting to me. Kassadin on full stacks of Medjai's, by the way. He did sell the Fairy Charm. I don't know if he sold it to buy anything. Because... is Fairy Charm a component into Archangel? I actually don't remember. Oh yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Because Tear of the Goddess. So yeah, that's an interesting point. it wasn't a Ludens that he bought Archangel without stacking a tier. So right now this is at 280, but yeah, he didn't buy a tier this game. He just kept the Fairy Charm, built like stronger items for the early game, and then eventually built the Archangel and didn't care about stacking the tier in the early game. So that's really interesting. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed, smash the like button. Again, in the comment section, let me know what champions you want to see in the upcoming episodes. Again, this isn't going to be like a big thing always. Just at the moment, having a little bit of a break from playing on the main account because it's been a bit stressful. I'll be back on it tomorrow, though, recording episodes. And what you also can do, because this episode will be coming out tonight, in the comment section, let me know what you want to see in Climb to Master. Are there any champions like, Huz, you're really good at that champion. Can you play that champion? And maybe comments that have like a lot of comments or likes on them. Maybe I'll, consider playing them tomorrow. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.